West Texas, but we're proud to be partners with our friends in Oklahoma who produce a little oil and gas and a little food and fiber themselves. But the gentleman from Florida is exactly right. I don't think that there's enough Democrats to support this gargantuan tax and spend bill on the American people, because it would be their political death warrant, quite frankly, because they represent people, working families, who will no doubt feel the burden. Even the most liberal tax policy experts say that the corporate taxes in large part will be borne by working families with lower wages and higher cost of goods and lower benefits. That's what taxing American job creators will do, as well as run those jobs right back overseas where we brought millions back when we cut taxes. We will ruin America's competitive position, and we will no doubt be in a far worse situation than we are today, with runaway inflation, with labor locked out by foolish policies to pay people more to be on unemployment than to be at work. This is the largest tax bill, the largest spending bill, the largest expansion of government, the largest redistribution of wealth in the history of the United States of America. In the history. And part of this bill, and it's hard to know where to end and begin, because the Democrats have had sort of a shock and awe strategy where it's hard to unpack all of the disastrous provisions, but they expand the welfare system in this country and trap millions more people on government dependency. And they will trap generations in a cycle of poverty because of new cash entitlements without any regard for personal responsibility or work requirements. The refundable child tax credit is Exhibit A. It's $500 billion in its current temporary form, but I guarantee you, if it goes into place in any form, it will be made permanent, and it's over $1 trillion, and people will be paid cash per child with no regard for their ability to work, their responsibility to look for a job, work-capable people with no responsibility. This will also enact the Green New Economic Disaster. This is a climate alarmist utopian fantasy that will break the bank of our American coffers. It will ruin our economic prospects of recovery. It will certainly undermine, if not flat out destroy, America's energy independence and give the keys to China in terms of the future global economic leadership. But what's not discussed enough, because Democrats claim in their rhetoric that this is a tax on the rich, this is a tax on corporations. Well, first of all, the facts are, out of the 1.7 organizations, job creators organized as C Corps, 1.4 million are small businesses. Small businesses, in their proposal, would be death by 1,000 tax increases and mandates and regulations, marginal tax increases, deduction in the, or a cut in the small business deduction. You have Obama surtaxes. In 41 states, Madam Speaker, small businesses under this proposal will pay more than 50% of their income to the government. On top of that, they have expanded powers for regulators like OSHA to increase their penalties upwards of 500%, increase the Fair Labor Standards Act penalties by 900%, empower regulators to fine small businesses upwards of $700,000 for not implementing the Biden vaccine mandate. So, my friend from Oklahoma, this is riddled with horrible provisions, and to suggest that small businesses get a pass is more than disingenuous. Again, in addition to the tax increases, they've got mandates on government-approved retirement plans. They'll be forced to unionize their workforce. Taxpayers will subsidize union dues. Unions will be able to funnel billions of dollars to Democrat organizations. So in addition to this, the progressive wish list part 2 after quote unquote COVID relief, in addition to amnesty and citizenship for people who came into this country illegally, they've got a whole list of goodies for their union buddies and bosses, not the least of which is Americans get a higher tax break if they buy their electric bicycles and electric vehicles from unionized corporations. So this is a parade of horrible policies. It is an economic disaster. And as we unpack it, I hope and pray that the American people and our colleagues on the Democrat side of the aisle will do the right thing for our country and keep America in that pole position for future prosperity. Thank you, and I yield back.
I'd like to thank the gentleman from